Good evening. We have been discussing at work how God answers prayers and provide for us our basic needs, clothes, food, shelter. And of course we've been doing that discussion from Matthew chapter 6. Earlier, before we get to that point, Jesus had made a distinction between need and greed. In verse 19, he says, do not store up for yourselves treasures on the earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. We need earthly things while we're on this earth. We need shelter, we need food. And Jesus said, God already knows that. Most of us, perhaps all of us, during our lifetime, we accumulate a lot of stuff. Some of us, a lot of stuff. The things that we accumulate, to us, is treasure. It's something that we adore. It's something that's valuable to us. But I've learned the Salvation Army, Goodwill, and many thrift stores thrive on the stuff that is so important to us that when we transition from this life to another life, that stuff is not so important to other people. And that includes family sometimes. Sometime in processing, I'll come across a family album, and I'll thumb through it, and I see what I think to be grandparents. And I see birthdays and Christmases, and I see pictures of vacations and other special times. And I wonder, how in the world could someone get rid of this? Why did they donate this? We can't use it. We're going to throw it into the dumpster. But what has happened here, the person that thing belonged to, it was precious. They just took joy. I can just in my mind that they met someone and let me show you my album, and they turn over and they have these little laughs and they have all these little things that's going on. But we have to realize that when we live on the earth, the things that we accumulate on earth, they're for earthly benefit only. No further. Job and Solomon and Paul echoed God's comment in Genesis chapter 3, verse 19, that what we have on earth, we can't take it any further. The story goes that a man told his wife, when I die, if you outlive me and I die before you, I'm going to take all my money to heaven. And he died before she did. After the funeral, she went to the bank, and there was no money there. And she, in pretty bad shape as far as, what am I going to do? And she thought, well, what I'll need to do, I'll just sell the house, buy something smaller until I can get things worked out. And while she was preparing and getting the house ready and doing all of these things that she felt she needed to do, and she said, well, let me go up in the attic and just make sure everything is okay there. And she saw this box sitting there. And she walked over and she opened the box, and it was full of money. And she picked it up, and as she hugged this box, she said, thank God he didn't put it in the basement. You can't take it with you. Job said, naked I came from my mother's womb. Solomon said the same thing. And I think Paul said it more direct to us. We brought nothing into this world and we're not going to take anything out. The only thing that we benefit that we can get from what we have and what God blesses us with is what Jesus said in verse 20. He says, "But store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where moth and rust does not destroy, and where thieves do not break through and steal." How do we do that? Obviously, I can't have a saving account in heaven. I can't buy stocks and bonds. I can't store money away in heaven. So how am I going to do that? We do it the way we're doing it here, by helping others. You know, Jesus said, when he talked about the people saw him hungry and thirsty in prison and sick and so on, and you ministered unto me, and they said, when did we do that? When did we see you like that? When you did it to the least one of my brethren. I'm just so proud of this congregation that we can look beyond the walls of where we worship, that we can look beyond the city where we live. We can look beyond the things that we're enjoying and see others who do not have. The Ethiopian toilet program, the little hut that that we're helping to build in India, right? So, lost my thought there. And then what we're doing here locally. This is how we put things away and store up in heaven. God is proud of us for that. And he says, and one of the other things that Jesus was concerned about, for where your treasure is, there your heart is also. If we become too involved in earthly things, there's a great possibility that God will not get as much of our attention as he needs and as we should give him. Where our treasure is, that's where our heart is. And then, as we come to a close, Jesus, in talking about all of this and our part in this, he says in verse 33, "But seek ye first the kingdom, his kingdom, and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you as well." If we would do God's will, we're going to have everything we need. And I don't know about you, but God has blessed me with everything I need, and he has allowed me to have a lot of the things that I want. God is just that good. But we have to seek him. We have to do the things that he wants us to do. If you're not a Christian, if you've not been baptized into Christ, that's where we began. We start there. And we're here tonight to help you with that. If you're a Christian and somehow you look at yourself and say, you know what, I can do a lot better than what I'm doing. I can bring it to another level. But I need help. I need encouragement. We're here to help you with that. This congregation is one of the few congregations that I know that really goes out and help and is standing by to aid us in everything and every help, situation we find ourselves in. If we can help in any way, we're going to sing the song. You stand and you come.